I feel like I want to share my story. So, I have 2 children, and I'm going to make you do the math. One is turning 24 in October, and one is turning 3 next January, so he's 2.5. And they're both raised in you would put it like 2 different countries, and 2 different time period, and 2 different parenting styles. If you do the math, like my eldest son, I had him young. I had him when I was a teenager, or in my early teens. And when I got pregnant with him, it wasn't something that, I planned for. It was being rebellious, rebellious as a teenager, and quite frankly, following friends and getting caught up in the moment of it, and not really thinking about the serious consequences, about the serious consequences. So when I found out I was pregnant with Javon, and I told my mom, by right, parents, they're hurt. They don't want to hear their child, or their teenagers either pregnant or got somebody pregnant, So she stopped sending me to school, and at the time, my baby father had to pick it up, which I didn't have long left in high school. I actually got pregnant like right before graduation. And then it turned out, long story short, I tried to go back to school while I'm pregnant, and I couldn't do it because of all the feelings and stuff like that. And then after that, like during that time, I found out he wasn't the person he actually said he was, and then my mom got the opportunity of a lifetime and started working in the U.S., here in the U.S. And then, I was left there with my brother, my sister, my little sister, my little brother, a baby, and a drunkard of a stepdad. So, I had put on a big girl's panties, and I put on so I had to put on the big girl's panties. Now, with that being said, I think, when I was pregnant, my friends, they were there for me, but then when I had Javon, I actually, I think I just one day just decided, you know what, this has happened, it's for real, and I gotta do this, and it is no longer me, it is me and a baby, and I'm a teen, and I gotta figure this out. A teen, where my mom is not there anymore. She already left, because she was like, hey, I was trying to make this not happen and trying to give you what I can, and then you went out and you got pregnant. So I had to decide that I have to do this. So I decided I was going to try to be the best mother that I could be. So I made sure one of my my goal was that no matter what it takes or what I have to do, I was not gonna make my son end up in jail, be a thief, be a criminal, end up in jail or dead. Even if I have to, no matter what I had to do. And that was my mother, and I tried every single thing. Like, sometimes I look at where he's at right now, and I honestly do not know how I raised him to be the type of man he is right now. And long story short, with that, to fast forward to where I am now with Xander, Javon is doing great. And like, I could have not asked for a better child. Like, he was that child, for a teenager being a mom and trying to grow herself and then raise a child. Like, he was the best child anyone could ask for. And we grew up as brothers and sisters because it was just the two of us. Like, I literally had like baby father issues, like where like I am going to him and I gotta be begging him for, child support and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it was really bad until one day I decided, you know what? All this negative energy that I am pouring out into this man for him to support his child, I can turn that around in a positive energy and just know that, hey, nobody else has got me. I got me. The only person my son's got and is sure of is me. Nobody else, right? And I come to realization that time that negative energy that I'm pouring into this man, this anger, all of this, and I'm pouring into this man, I should just turn it around and just pour all of that, turn that into good, and just put all of that into my son. And that's what I did. And I think that was the time when I grew up. And he's now out of the house. He's married and he's doing awesome. Like, I am so proud of that boy, right? I don't post him a lot and post his stories, too much stories about him, because he's out there and he's living his best life. He's trying to be the best man he can be for him and his wife and himself, until they're ready to have children, because he doesn't want to repeat the same mistake where he have a child right now and then they can't afford and they're struggling. So they're trying to make sure that they have everything in place and then they can start a family. So that is my story with my 24-year-old. And now that I have another child and waited so long, one of the reasons why I waited this long was I wanted another child, somewhat like I would say maybe 60-40, 60% I want it, but the 40% is I am trying not to make the same mistake twice. That's why I always tell people that the way I talk, I talk because I want to tell people my experience so the younger generation know that it's okay for mistakes to happen, but it's how you move forward with your mistakes. And so me and Javon, we grew up like brothers and sisters. And so because of that, I waited so long until when Javon finally left the house. He left in 2019. 2020, right a little bit before the pandemic, right during the pandemic time. And the emptiness syndrome hit me. That hit me so hard because all I knew was growing up with Javon. We grew up together. I became an adult with my son, So when that happened, and I sat down with John, and we discussed our future and everything. and John has no children, and I really needed some healing. I needed something to make me happy, something to make me go on, because I felt like when Javon left, like it took away my joy. It took away the reason that I push forward every single day. Because like, if you know me from before, right, if you know me from before, right, and you know how I go through, like, my child was everything, and I will push heaven and hurt, right? He pushes me. So when he left, I felt like I did not have something to push me for my better self, you know? And I knew I had a lot to offer. So we decided to have Xander. And let me tell you, it's one of the best decisions I have made. Mama. Because I know how to enjoy a baby now. Like, I know how to enjoy watching him grow. Like, I didn't have that opportunity with Javon because I was growing myself. But now I know how to enjoy. And I can tell you this, the biggest light in my life right now is Xander. I am loving and I'm watching and I'm loving every single moment of growth. So that is it for today, and I'll get you caught up the next time we talk.